this is where character is built. Character's not built when everybody's rich and you're making money and it's rolling. And like you said, it doesn't get easier, but you get better.
Everybody has the same opportunity. We gotta help each other. We gotta pull on each other. We gotta push each other. We gotta challenge each other.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the pod. My name is Bowen Sweeney, sitting here with
Drew, Kevin.
and Kevin. So we've been in insurance, I would say going on 5 years together. And our journey's been hectic. We've been at 2 different insurance companies. We've been through a lot, had to learn to develop a skill set when it was very difficult, a skill set when there was no real training systems, tech, or platform that was there to really get us up and trained and teach us about the insurance industry. So today, I want to dive into just a little bit of our journey, like a little bit of your background, and then we can dive into why it's important to not give up and why it's important to not quit.
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. But yeah, so I've been obviously with Bowen since we started a captive agency. Yeah, 5 years ago. And I took the long route for sure. These two actually, I don't know how many times they told me, like, hey, you need to take this serious. It's a real opportunity. We can make a lot of money here. And it took me damn near 2-3 years to really start taking this opportunity serious. I was involved in a bunch of other things. I would help out with my buddy's company. I graduated with a digital marketing degree, and so I loved helping him out, helped him build a company, and not really realizing that that's exactly what I was doing for myself in this business. And so again, just didn't take it serious. And then finally, when it really started to click that there's people coming into the business that I was working with, helping train, that were on my team. And then I just realized that I needed to start taking the opportunity for what it was and start training these individuals at a very high level. And it takes a lot. It's not a part-time job. A lot of people think that they can do this part-time or even full-time. 40 hours a week in our business just does not cut it. So I really started putting the effort in, and then about a year later, Faction Financial came to be, which is my agency, and kept growing from there. And then eventually started taking a hold of advanced markets and figuring that out, and running annuities, infinite banking, large cash value life insurance policies, the more strategic side of the business. And so
You might lose us here.
yeah, it's super fun stuff, super exciting, but I honestly really, really enjoy it. And that happened about a year later after making Faction Financial, and now I'm running that for Founders Financial Group, and it's been a ride. And for me personally, it's just been outlasting other people, surviving in this industry, and the opportunity arose to be able to do this type of stuff, and I was there to be able to seize the opportunity, and that's all it's really about. There's no way in hell I would have ever thought that when we started at Globe Life five and a half years ago that I would be doing fixed index annuities, infinite banking, all this stuff. It was just a matter that I stayed in the opportunity and I stayed around, and when that opportunity arose, I was able to take on that opportunity, seize it. So,
Which is huge. And I feel we'll dive into obviously the partnership here in a bit, but it just shows you, like, over time, your perspective changes and your vision changes. So a lot of people, you may have this massive vision now, but you get around people that are moving where you want to go, it's going to help, like, add to the vision or change things or get you on a different path or get you on a different course. And as long as you stay around the right people, it's going to help you just evolve into this true entrepreneur. And I feel that's the biggest thing that I learned in this business is, like, when you get in 100% commission-based sales, you are an entrepreneur. What are you doing to make your business profitable? What are you doing to develop a skill set to be able to make your business profitable? And I talk a lot of the times is, if you focus on the money when you're not making the money, you're going to feel a lot of pressure and you're going to be attached to it. And it's going to be difficult to be able to perform because then you're performing with pressure. If you come in the business like all 3 of us did, to develop a skill set, over time, your skill set gets better. You get more effective, you get more efficient, and then you attract the money and you start making the money. So Kev, talk about your journey a little in the beginning. And it's funny to really have a conversation about it, because we were just young, hungry idiots. Like, we were clueless. We had no idea what the industry had to offer. And just watching the both of you guys evolve, and shit, I get to play a part in it too, and evolving into just an entrepreneur that understands the business. So can you dive into like a little bit of your journey, and then we'll talk about steps or struggles that we ran into on the journey and how that carried a lot of weight. I understand what's difficult today is just going to be part of the journey in 6 months, as long as you're doing the work required to get you to where your skill set is at a point that you're making money. So share with us a little bit.
I think one thing I'm grateful for about is I came into the insurance space with no expectations for what I was. And I guess part of that came from my, coming from the door-to-door background where I did 2 summers. But I always knew I just kind of wanted to work on my own, be my own boss. I wanted that structure. I had no idea what it entailed. A lot of people think, oh, you work for yourself, you have all this free time, that's not it. But for me, I wanted to build something on my own. So 2 years door to door, sucked at it, hated knocking on doors, but like the freedom that came along with it, the ability to, if I actually did well, to make a lot of money or go out of the big day was something that excited me, but it was not a long-term solution. So coming into the insurance space, it was very similar to that. Make your own hours, have the ability to work from wherever. If you have a big day, you can actually earn some legitimate money on that day. But I do think a lot of people come into the space with like an unrealistic expectation of what this is. They look at it as a job. Hey, if I come in and I work from 8 to 5, or I work to 8 to 8, and I'm showing up, the results are going to happen. But they don't have the business mindset of what it's going to take, or they wait for someone to carry them along in the process. Like for me, the guy that brought me into the business never sold a life insurance policy. If I waited around for him to be successful, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And I think that's what I'm grateful for, is you just got to grab the business, by the balls and go after it. So yeah, my first year in insurance, it was a long road. Didn't make much money. Took a lot of hours. But you talk about like the money. It's the byproduct of what this business is going to offer you in the long term. And for me, it was, hey, if I continue to show up, I stick around the right people, I put a lot of hours in. I'm not just putting the hours in from 8 in the morning until 8 in the evening, but what am I doing to get better before work hours and after work hours about my mindset? Like you do that for a long enough time, you're going to be successful. And the beautiful thing about business, like a lot of us are washed up athletes, we got to quit our dream at 20. Business, like we're going to be running this till we're 80. Like people have this micro image of what business is, and they look at it, hey, I'm not successful in my first year. I'm not a business owner. I'm not an entrepreneur. No, you haven't given yourself enough time. And if you understand like, hey, I'm going to be in this till I'm 50, 60, 70, 80, it allows you to take the stress off the financial gains of this business and actually allow yourself to grow as an individual.
100%. I mean, that's sports. Like sports, there's a true beginning and a true ending. And like you either win or you lose. Business is the infinite game. The only way you lose is you give up. The only way you lose is you quit. And I understood that as like, when I came in, I had realistic expectations. I sucked when I started, so I didn't expect this crazy outcome. I expected to get better and develop my skill set to get me to the point that I was going to be at the point that I was receiving the outcome that I was expecting. So I feel that's the biggest thing in business, is having realistic expectations and not overestimating what you can do in a year and underestimating what you can do in 5 years. It's looking at this as a big picture. For us, that's what every single one of us did, is how do I get better at sales? In insurance sales, it's simple. Like you get really good at selling insurance. You're really good at connecting with the clients. You're really good at asking questions to paint the picture so the client knows what their life looks like with insurance and without insurance. And then you get really good at training, developing, and recruiting. And the thing is, a lot of people try to build in this business before they figure out how to get really good at the sales side. If you don't figure out how to get profitable in sales, how the hell are you going to teach people how to get profitable in sales? And you won't be able to. And we've all experienced that phase. Is the quickest way people lose belief in this business is they're not selling, they're not making money, they're not profitable. They're recruiting people into the business. They're not making money. When they join, they're borrowing your belief. When they join, they're borrowing whoever recruited them into the business, their belief, until the business becomes real for them. It becomes real when they get their first deposit. Boom, there's the belief. Now I have perspective, or I have an understanding of what's required to get paid, and then it grows from there. So can you talk about, like, obviously your evolution to now, things that you understand now that you didn't in the beginning? Because I feel a lot of the times when you start in the beginning, what may seem like a massive problem is just part of the business. It's just part of the day to day.
Yeah. I like the you're just borrowing their belief. That's exactly what it is. You come in, you don't have the belief yourself, but you see other people finding success and that's what you want. So I'm going to borrow that belief. That's cool. I like that perspective. But if, again, going back to my journey, if I if I needed to have the perfect vision to get to where I was going now, I would have been screwed. There's no way in hell, again, going back to our captive agency days, if I had no idea what advanced markets was. I had no idea what building a business was. Like had no idea of the concept of what that would even was. So and for anybody that's in your first 90 days, like you don't need to have a clear vision. You just need to understand that this is a profitable business. This is a place where you can grow something that's consistent, it's sustainable, it's scalable, and that's all you need to know. When you cut outside of that, you can come in, just focus on the right things, focus on just building a foundation. The only way that any sort of IMO organization is around in our space is, as you say all the time, the only way that we're alive is insurance needs to be getting sold. Like, that's it. So if we're not selling insurance, we're not an organization. So just worry about the fundamentals, like worry about selling at a high level, and things will come into place down the road. But a lot of people start thinking about these 30,000 foot problems and you're at the base of the mountain. Like, don't let that stop you from getting into the industry. Worry about selling, make money. Then you can worry about the next thing. You can worry about talking about your story and bringing other people into the business. Then start bringing other people into the business. You can start worrying about, hey, how to develop them and how to lead them in the right direction. Then you teach other leaders how to lead people. And then eventually you're running an organization where you have 5 levels of leaders that are developing themselves. So for me personally, coming into the business, like, it took me 2-3 years before I really started taking seriously. And then I found advanced markets, or started building a team and a company. And then I found advanced markets, and it was just something that I found a lot of passion in. And I liked the strategic side of things. I liked problem solving. It was a lot of fun for me. And so I took it seriously, and I was able to find mentors in the space that would guide me in that space. And I mean, Google, ChatGPT, YouTube, I was able to essentially teach myself a lot of the aspects of that space. And then finally, which is a huge partnership for us, like, we've been able to secure partnership with the AE, and that's going to completely change the game for us over the next 2 years. And what we're about to do in advanced markets is going to be nothing short of spectacular for our company. And I'm super excited for that. And that was my journey. And just surviving in this industry for 4 or 5 years is the only reason I was able to even have this opportunity. Because it's just been years of development to be able to get into a place like that. So, I mean, as both of you have said, if you're not thinking about a 20, 25 year vision in anything that you do that you're passionate about, don't do it. Like, it's not going to work out. The only way it is if you're going to get lucky. The crypto guys, the startup companies, like, yeah, you could get lucky, make a crap load of money in the first 5 years, but the likelihood of that happening is slim to none. So if you're banking on that, find something else. Find something you're passionate about, and you can go 25 years in.
You almost had a couple of those, Cass.
It didn't work out too well.
Yeah.
Talk about it. But it's funny. It's funny, but like, you've realized some real shit.
Yeah, for so long I was chasing, whether it was crypto or gambling or all these different things. Like, I've chased every little thing possible, and honestly, it's the best thing for me, because, again, I always say it all the time. Now around the office, I'm like one of the older guys, but like, I'm so freaking young, and these mistakes are so much better to make now in my life than 10 years, 15, 20 years down the line, when they're not tens of $1,000 mistakes, but like theirs. And I know that's where I'm going to get to. I know that's what we're all building. And granted, am I an idiot? Yeah. But also like,
When you so say you invest in this company because somebody has this crazy idea to you, like, Kev, when this goes big, you're gonna make millions of dollars. When you invest, say you give them 50 grand, and you've been in this position before. When you lose the money, you realize you're not getting the money back. What is your thought process?
I mean, Jeff talks about it all the time. I literally just like it's not my money anymore. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's into the ether. It is what it is. It sucks, but thinking about it sucks more. And again, it sounds crazy to say, but it is such a small amount in the grand scheme of things. It's not, the lessons were so much more than the money at that point in time.
It's an expensive lesson, but you learn. I mean, shit, that's what I did. I spent 100 grand on an investment and I didn't get it back. And my thought process was, well, that could have been $1 million. That could have been $2 million that I gave and didn't get back. And it was just a huge lesson for really vetting the people that you're doing business with and vetting people that you're going to be investing money. And for me, I realized like, damn, if I invested that 100 grand in my business, I probably could have made another 7 figures a year. I probably could have helped grow or innovate tech or whatever it may be. And I feel a lot of people like investing is huge and it's smart and it's awesome. But when you're building a business, invest in yourself and understand that you give me 100 grand, I could turn it to 500. Let me put 100 grand in myself and I can turn it to X amount of dollars. And just having that undeniable belief of what is required to get you to being at a point that, okay, give me this money and I can 10X it. And that's how I've always thought is like, shit, we talk about it all the time. Damn, what if I just invested that in my business?
Yeah, the business investment, it's almost always guaranteed. And I don't know, it's the shiny object syndrome. You're like, well, this could happen. But in all reality, there's no such thing as easy money. And if you're chasing easy money, you may get it one time, but you're going to lose it just as quick. And I've realized that as well. And like that's why I'm grateful for it. And all like goes back to like, if we really did just continue to throw everything we made into this for 5-10 years straight, the returns are going to be astronomical. And that's, it took me a while to get to that point, but
What do you think? So let's go back to the sales side. Obviously, we're all building an organization. What do you think makes you different than anybody else that they could go work with in sales?
personally, like I tell people all the time, I'm not the best at really anything. Like I'm not the best salesman. I can sell at a high level. Don't get me wrong. And if I had to push myself and do 70, 80, $100,000 a month, I know I can. I'm not the best recruiter. Like I'm not the best at anything, but personally, just so certain that like what we're building, what I'm going to accomplish is going to happen. And I genuinely believe like anyone can do this. If I can do this, anyone can. And you stick around or I'll show you what it looks like on a day-to-day basis. It's going to happen. And for me, that's what it is. Like there's just zero doubt around myself. We talk about it all the time with the negativity, like negativity, negative. Yeah.
Repeat one more time.
Negativity.
Yeah, you got it.
Like we genuinely don't hang around to anyone that's negative. Like not a single
Yeah.
person. And if they are, they say one thing, like we either walk away or we call it out for what it is because it does nothing for anyone.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge. And that's allowed us to get to where we're at is not dealing with that because the business is hard enough as it is. So calling out like somebody doesn't answer, it doesn't matter. We're calling the next person. We're just moving on with our life.
Yeah, and I have a weird like challenge with that that phrase that anybody can do it, because I mean we've heard it so much in our business, and everybody is capable. Everybody has the capability of picking up a phone and dialing 200 times a day. Everybody has the capability of being positive, but there's so few people that are like that do it, that actually do it on a day in and day out basis. And yeah, everybody's capable, but you have to. I was listening to, I think it was McConaughey and Joe Rogan. They were talking about the importance nowadays, like what does college degree actually mean anymore? Like there's way more people that are owners of startup companies nowadays that are, I would prefer the the guy, the Joe Schmo that is decent at 7 different things, but has an unwavering ability to like finish what he started. Which, I mean, again, I guess there's an argument for college there. Hey, it's something that at least a piece of paper that they can finish what they started. But in reality, like, I mean, when it comes to this job, like I will take somebody that is just willing to go through so much shit all day, every day, versus the person that maybe they were a Golden Door winner, maybe they were super, like maybe they were excellent at solar, door to door pest, or whatever it may be. A lot of those guys come in with like this attitude that they're going to be able to fly by the seat of their pants just because they've developed some sort of skill set in sales, and in reality, it's like, yo, this is a whole new industry. It's a different type of hard. You're going from knocking 100 doors a day to getting told to F off 100 times on the phone. Standing on somebody's doorstep, like it's way harder for somebody to walk away from you than somebody to just hang up the phone. So it's a whole different type of hard, and people don't realize that and again, it just goes to show that like it's back to that statement, like everybody's capable of it, but there's very select few people that do and are willing to go through that. So as we continue to recruit and attract high level people, I think that's the biggest thing personally I'm looking for somebody to come on the team is like, can you go through hard shit? Like
100%.
through hard shit. Like a lot of people will say like, I am a hard worker, but those are just opinions until it's been tested. Like characteristics aren't a characteristic until it's really been tested. People say that they're loyal. People say that they're hardworking. But okay, let me see a situation where you've had your loyalty tested. Like, let me see a situation where you've had your character tested, how hardworking you are. Like, I'm sure you work hard when everything in the environment is right. I'm sure you're working hard when everything's going well for you. But how about the weeks where you've had 3 chargebacks, had 4 people leave the business, and there's 7 different things in your personal life going on? Those are hard workers. Like
100%. I feel it's important too to understand that it's easy to smile and it's easy to show up when the sun's shining and you're making money. That says nothing about anybody. But when it's difficult and you're in the trenches, you have to work more hours than you're used to. You have to grind more hours than you used to. You have to learn more shit than you used to learning. Like that shows true character. So I believe like not anybody can do it, but if you possess the right characteristics and you have the right mentorship, the right guidance, you work hard, you're coachable, you're disciplined, you're consistent, then you'll be able to do this. For me, I understood that I developed a lot of that playing college football. As I was disciplined, I was consistent, I would work hard and I would watch film. So I kept the same understanding of playing football and brought it into business, and I was able to have success. And I think of it in a different, almost like in a different lens of everybody can play football if you're an athlete and you're athletic. Like anybody can do it, like high school sports, anybody can do it. Few people can do college sports. It gets to the next level. But I see the biggest differentiator in people that have success that played sports and people that didn't have success that played sports is there's people that can play college football, but it's the people that when you're down 2 touchdowns, it's fourth quarter, you have 2 minutes left on the clock. What is your mindset? For me, I've been on the field with a lot of people like, damn, we already lost the game. For me, I'm like, dude, there's so much time left on the clock to turn this game around. We'll go kick it onside after we score, and we're going to get the ball back, and we're going to win this game. And I feel you have to have edge. You have to have grit. I always say, I mean, shit, I'll ask people, like, test the gangster. Like, how much gangster do you got in you? And really, it's my thought process of, like, how much grit do you have in you? Because I feel a lot of people give up too early, and they never really figure out, like, what is my potential? And when you taste a little bit of your potential, it becomes contagious. And I want to live more in the potential phase of my life than not. And maybe you have 2 days a week where you taste your potential, and then the other days you don't. Try to get it to 3 days a week, 4 days a week. And then stuff starts happening for you. And I feel too is your level of frequency in which you operate in is going to be the determining factor of the results that you get and how long it takes you to get them. So you have people that are on low frequency. They're like, damn, I have to dial. Damn, I have to show up. Damn, I have to read. Damn, I have to study these products. Versus somebody that's doing the same exact thing as them, the long days, the hours, the dialing the phone, the objections, the chargebacks. I'm grateful that I am able to get up. I'm grateful that I have the health to be able to work 12 hours a day. I'm grateful that I'm consuming this knowledge that's giving me perspective. And then it brings me to the point of why people do personal development. Some people put on a pod and they'll read a book, but they're not intentional with it. I was a firm believer, dude, I never even read a book. I graduated college, never even read a book. I have 2 degrees. And I would pay people to do my homework to be able to play college football. And when I graduated, the biggest thing I realized is I lack so much knowledge. How am I going to get this? Well, I have to learn. So I would listen to a podcast or I would read a book to be able to have a different perspective and to be able to increase my vision of where I'm going. And if you do that day after day, year after year, year after year, you're going to get more effective. You're going to get more efficient. And then over time, shit starts happening for you. I look at our first year, dude, neither one of us made over 100 grand our first year. We have people that will clear 500 grand with us their first year in business. Like it's the leaders get better, the agents get better, the systems get better, the training gets better, but to simplify it, you're selling insurance. So what if every single day I focus on what do I have to do to be able to close a deal? And it's insane to watch how it just happens for you and you manifest stuff that starts working and you start seeing the fruits of your labor. But it's also, what I know now is not what I knew in the beginning. I understand like your conscious is you're aware and you're present, you know where you're operating, but your subconscious is what you fall back on when it's difficult. So whatever you're telling yourself in your head that you're not speaking out loud is what you're going to fall back on. So how do you train your subconscious? And it's overtime. It's through repetition activity. Like there's 2 reasons people fail. We talk about it all the time: self-sabotage, self-doubt. You can get self-doubt from lack of repetition activity, but also your circle of influence. Self-sabotage is you're doing a lot of stuff that's taking you from the goal, or you're not doing enough of the stuff that's going to take you to your goal. So, I mean, dude, I'm excited. I'm blessed to be in business with you guys. You guys are beasts. Where we're going is huge. What are some things that you see in agents that have success and agents that don't have success early on? Because, I mean, the business isn't easy. It's simple. What makes it simple is your habits, your discipline, your focus, your coachability, and your thought process, your perspective and your vision. What makes it difficult is having none of that. So we'll see people come in and write 50 grand their first month. I mean, CJ came in and ripped 50 grand his first month, and we'll see people, they'll grind for a year and they'll never get there. So what do you think maybe a couple things they're holding people back from getting the results that they're trying to attain in sales?
The key indicator for me, and now, I mean, it took me, I'm not proud to say it, probably 70 plus agents in my agency that have left, that it took that many examples for me to understand this concept. How do you handle like a negative situation? How do you handle the chargeback, not getting the sale? Like in these specific situations, for instance of going 2 weeks without a sale, like how do you handle that situation? And it's so clear now. The guys that have been successful in this business, they handle that with a smile, like every single time. Like specifically the people that are on my team, the people that are seeing results, every single one of those examples of those people, every single one of them has had challenges in this business. They went through it with a smile on their face, and they're on the other side and making it and have results now. From Sam to Carly to Riley to several other people, like every single one of these people have had challenges in this business and went through it with a smile. That is the key indicator. The people that let it crumble them every single time, like it's just going to get worse. These problems are just going to get bigger. I don't know why anybody thinks that it's just going to get easier as time goes on. Like what business owner in the entire world has ever said it gets easier as time goes on? Like none of them. And so we should be ready for that as business owners, as entrepreneurs. The higher and higher we get in this business, like you're just dealing with bigger problems. When we left and went through this transition, you were dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars of problems. As we're sitting over here dealing with tens of thousands of dollars of problems, of roll-up debt, of chargebacks, like your influence is your influence on the people that are going through this transition with you. It's 7 figures worth of money. Damn near probably 8 figures worth of money that are going back and forth of people leaving and going into other businesses. So it's like, again, if you can't get through the $2,000 chargeback and an agent leaving you, how the hell are you going to deal with 100 agents leaving you and $1 million on the line?
100%. I feel that's what I understand is when stuff happens, I'm able to understand why it happened. So for a lot of people, when stuff happens, they're like, why me? Why is this happening to me? Like, why would God do this to me? Why is my life so difficult? And then versus understanding why it's happening. Like if something difficult happens to me, I was like, dude, this is huge. I prayed for this. When it was rolling, I was, dude,
What was your mindset? Because we just went through the hardest transition that I assume we'll ever have to go through. I mean, obviously transition wise, but there's going to be some big challenges those days because we've had Zoom calls where it's 15 leaders, damn near 4 of them are crying, trying to figure out what the hell we're going to do. I mean, it's true. Like that's what it came down to. Like, and you having to stand tall in those situations, like what was going through your head, like in the middle of that? Like you're sitting around waiting for owners of massive companies that have our success in their hands. Like, what was your thought process going through all that?
I would say I could zoom out. So I did the business when it was difficult, when I had no money and I didn't have anything to fall back on, and I didn't have much mentorship or guidance. We got to the point that once you develop a skill set, your skill sets will get you paid. So once you figure out how to sell insurance, that's how you get paid. Once you figure out how to train, lead, develop, and teach people how to sell insurance, that's how you get paid. So I understood that this was temporary and where we're going is the big picture. And this is going to allow us to understand a lot about ourselves. It's like the character building phase of the journey. It's like, this is where character is built. Character's not built when everybody's rich and you're making money and it's rolling. And like you said, it doesn't get easier, but you get better. So as you get better, you're able to navigate what is going on. And I'm a firm believer in people come into your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. I can't make that decision for them. I'm so certain in where we're going. My belief is so strong. I don't even possess the characteristic quit. Like I feel like a lot of people do. I can't even find that characteristic if I wanted to. If I wanted to quit, I don't even know how to do it. And there's a lot of people that they feed that so much. I eliminate it out of my life. Like that's not even an option for me. And I also, it's been done before. It's not like we're innovating technology or I'm innovating a new phone or I'm entering a market that I didn't have experience in. It's been done before. People have branched off in worse situations and built these massive organizations. So for me, like I talk about, don't compare yourself to people, but I compare myself in a sense of this dude had the same license as me. This dude bleeds the same blood as me. This dude had 20 years more than me. How do I gain 20 more years of knowledge? And it's through repetition activity. It's through knowledge and it's through studying. It's through mentorship. So yeah, it was difficult, but I also understood the people that I was in business with, they haven't been through that much shit. Like we're all young, we're in our 20s. What's the most difficult thing that we went through? Oh, we moved home away from college. These guys are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. This wasn't difficult. It was difficult because they were invested in the relationship. When you get emotionally attached to somebody and they leave, then it's difficult for you. Then it hurts. For me, like people come, they go, is what it is. Everybody's journey is a little different. And I'm a firm believer in the next 5 years, people are going to say, I used to work with that guy. I used to be on Zoom with that guy. And I know that my ability to be able to attract the right people to do business with is insane. Like I'm a firm believer in your best leaders. Like we have tremendous leaders on the team. Our best leaders are yet to even come in the organization. So what the hell does that mean? That means there's a hell of a lot more good people that we're going to be doing business with that are going to help us get to the point that we want to get to. And it's also teaching people that when it gets tough, don't look outside, just solve it. Because on the other side of anything that we face difficult in our life, guess what we gain from it? Perspective, vision, understanding of we're capable of a hell of a lot more than we gave ourselves credit for. And if you're going to go through it anyways, might as well have a good mindset. For me, it's like, if it's difficult and I'm like, dude, this is so fucking difficult. I don't know how we're going to do this. Nobody's making money. Like, dude, if you live in that side of it versus, dude, this is temporary and I'm going to have a good mindset and eventually I'm going to write this phase down in my book that I went through it. Okay, I went through this phase in my life. What do I want to say about my mindset? Because your attitude's everything. Like I play football with guys. Damn, we have to run sprints. We have to run after practice. This sucks. It makes practice a hell of a lot worse. Versus, hell yeah, I would mess up so we had to run more. Like me and my brother in high school, it's funny. I'll tell you this short story, but we were conditioning and you had to sit in a line. And if you moved, like he was just like trying to get us so disciplined. If you moved, we had to run more. So my brother's behind me. I'm a junior and he's a senior. And I move and it was fun. I feel bad if Jared listens to this. So this dude, I moved and the coach is like, that's it, back on the line, you're running more. And me and my brother are laughing. We're like, hell yeah. Because everybody's fatigued, they're tired. But that's where you get to see who has that dog in them. So this dude turns around, smacks me. I punch him in the face. He's a senior. My coach is like, why'd you do that? I was like, we're just making us better, coach. We needed more conditioning. Like we're losing these games and we're going to have fun doing it. And he's like, that's what we need. So it's getting around people that think that way and operate that way. For me, I know if anybody spends a week with me, their belief is insane because I don't let little shit affect me and I don't let big shit affect me. If it happens, why would you get so emotionally invested into it? Then it sucks, then you feel it. Versus me, I'm like, okay, this happened. Here's the problem. What's the solution? So it's problem, solution, problem, solution. But there's people that don't even attempt to solve the problem. For me in the very beginning, it was, I sucked at sales. Let's solve the problem. I'm not good at recruiting. Let's solve the problem. I'm not good at this. Let's solve the problem. Versus, Kevin, Drew, what, like, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. And then they just spiral. It's like, just isolate it. Okay, I'm running into this. What's the solution? So just keeping it super simple.
Look, I mean, the common denominator between all of us is just it's not even that we had a clear vision. We just knew, again, same thing for you. You knew where you were going. You knew what it looked like in a 10-year period when you went out and branched out and led this direction. And now you own a multi-million, 100 million, damn near close to $1 billion agency in 10 years and company in 10 years. And just, I mean, that's what keeps us driven. That's the reason, like, I left $110,000 contract to go get into insurance and made 40 grand for the next year. But I'm so thankful that you dragged me into this. And because all of us, I mean, I could have just been like, hey, this is great. This is great money right out of college, making $100,000 plus, no overhead, no anything. But I'm looking at the guy across the pit from me, the sales pit from me, and that guy's making $400K and he's been here for 10 years. And now that he crossed the 10-year, he now gets to grow a beard in the office. You could do after 10 years, you got to grow a beard. So it's fun.
What if he can't grow one?
And I'm sitting here thinking, like, am I working to grow a beard? I could fucking grow a beard. I'm permits me able to grow a beard. So it's like, what am I working for? And I'm not kidding you. I was on the phone in the pit staring at this guy's beard and it just clicked. I swear to God, that's what happened. Cause he had just passed that mark a month ago and he just started growing in beard. It wasn't even as big as yours. And it's just like, it was crazy. I'm like, he worked for the last 10 years of his life to get that. And I was just like, and that's when I took 2 weeks PTO and I went out and worked with you and called my manager that was training me and let her know that I wasn't coming back. And I had a promotion on my desk when I got back.
When you left, I thought I was crushing it. Sure. Was a good pitcher. You gotta give mine is there. To be honest though, like again at that time, money had zero to do with anything. We loved showing up to work every day. We loved not making money. It was just the environment that we were around. And
yeah.
I think the biggest thing about insurance for me was I've always looked around and I've saw people winning at a very high level with just zero ceiling to it. And it's like, I never saw a place where that was possible. And that's what it was attractive to me. And it was just my time will come. I have to pay the dues. I think one thing that's cool is over the last 8 months, we've gone through a lot. It's been so tough. Like we've had our ups and downs, but what's crazy is we've grown. Me and Drew, we're coming out of this with the strongest individuals ever inside our organization. We did that through a dip. And like, that's what's really exciting for me is, hey, we did that over the last year when if anything could go wrong, it went wrong. And we're going to go into 2026 with the strongest foundation we ever have and it's going to be a year where it's just, hey, put the pedal down and let's see how big we can make this grow. Yeah, it's been organization wide.
What I realized too is when we pull it off, people are going to be like, holy shit. Because what's funny is when people experience separation or leaving organizations, they're like, they're never going to have success. It's like, we're not those ones. We're not the ones that you can say they're never going to have success. We're going to be the ones that, okay, we rebuilt, we're doing 500 million a year. What are you going to say then? You're going to be like, damn, I wish I was on that journey with them. There's so many people that they see like the Andy Frisells, the Ed Milet's, the PBDs, and they're like, damn, if I could go back, I wish I would have started with them and stuck it out with them, because now they built these massive fucking companies. And that's what I understand is like, there's going to come a time that, okay, we built it once, we go do it again. What are you going to say? There's very few people that can build it and lose it and gain it again. I could lose it all today. I'd be a millionaire in 6 months. Like once you possess the characteristic that you know how to run the business and you understand the business, you understand the ability to train, develop, and recruit and attract top tier talent, dude, it's just time. Like the only thing that's going to stop us from getting us to where we want to go is time. And the only way that happens is you have to have the delayed gratification, but you have to have the action and the work ethic and the input to get you to the gratification factor, the delayed gratification. There's a lot of people that are patient, but then that will get you follow? Delayed gratification, but the action and the input to get you to the gratification factor. It's like I have the delayed gratification, they end up too patient, and then they don't have the input that's going to get them to where they want to go. It's like you can be in a position where you're patient and you have this delayed gratification, but what's going to get you to that gratification factor? And it's the input, the work ethic, the amount of people that you're surrounded by that are moving you or going in the right direction as you. And one of my favorite things that I learned this last year is, how do you not stay complacent? You get around people that have never stayed the same. How do you evolve? You get around people that are always evolving. And that's what the business is about. But dude, this is where we're going. It's huge. We have an incredible team. You guys are incredible leaders. We're going to continue to get better. We're going to continue to attract people. And there's going to be people that'll say, damn, I used to work with those people. So appreciate you guys listening. See you on the next pod.